Thinking. There we go.
There we go.
Hi, everybody. This is Cristina from Triathlon Mommy, DashStrøm Coaching, and DashStrøm Run Clubs. And I help moms just like you start a profitable children's fitness business in your community so that you can earn income, so that you can work on your fitness, both your mind and your body, but most importantly, so that you can make a really big difference and an impact in your community with our empowerment curriculum. And today I'm here with the fabulous Christie from New Jersey, who I cannot believe just graduated our program last week. And so she was gracious enough to come here and talk to me a little bit about her experience, because for me, like, Christie had, like, it was such a no-brainer for her to join our program. And I talked to so many moms like Christie, and I just wanted her to share her experience with us. So Christie is a PE teacher who was working in New Jersey in the public school system. So Christie, tell me, like, what that was like and why you decided to make a jump to start your own business.
Yeah, so I had been a physical education teacher for 11 years. For the first 10 years, I was full-time. And within the last few years, I had my daughter and I had my son. And just like I know with a lot of other teacher moms, like, it just started to become completely exhausting. The amount of classes that I was teaching a day. And then coming home to my little ones, I was just on complete burnout. So my last year in teaching, I decided to take on a part-time job in the schools. And as much as I enjoyed myself there doing part-time and finding a little bit more balance between work and home life, it just didn't make sense to me. I felt like in my heart, there were a lot of other things that I wanted to be able to do. And, you know, when you're working for someone else, you can't exactly do that. You're by the book. And I think a lot of us teachers feel that way on a day-to-day basis, where we want to go one way and we have this feeling and this passion towards doing it this way, but we have to do it that way. And I think that ended up being a little bit of a conflict for me. And I saw the Triathlon Mommy advertisement on Facebook, and I had been thinking about going off on my own for a long time. And this was just like, it was just like a sign for me. Like, it popped up and I was like, ooh, I was like, that's exactly where my mind is right now. That's awesome. So I clicked on it and I talked to Cristina, and right away, I feel like we hit it off. And, you know, I'm the type of person, I've been exploring now with coaches and finding somebody to kind of help guide me in my professional life. But I didn't really click with anybody. And when I talked to you, Cristina, it was like, it just felt so right and it felt so good. And yeah, so that's how I ended up here. And I am not teaching anymore. I left I'm done. I'm done with teaching. I love what I'm doing now. This summer has been beautiful. And I can't wait to continue to do it in the fall.
All right. Well, let's talk about that, because first, I talk to a lot of teachers, and their number one complaint is that they have a passion for teaching, right? Like, that's why, because you don't do it for the money, that's for sure.
Right.
And I was a teacher too, so I totally get that. But when you're teaching in a school, and especially a public school, now there's so many norms and curriculums, and like, you have to do things a certain way, even though the kid is not getting it, even though you think that your class dynamics would work with something different, even though, like, you can't do it. Your hands are tied and you just have to, like, robotically do what you're told. And I think that stifles so many teachers. Right. So you joined our program, and you now are a business owner, right? Like, we were together for 8 weeks, but in those 8 weeks, like, you have done so much. And so your run club is called Township Titans.
Yes.
And so when you started, because I want to give people also a sense that, because people are like, oh, this takes so long. And I'm like, no. it doesn't. So let's talk about that. So you started, then you incorporated your business, and what happened?
Yeah. So when I first started off, I think the biggest difference between working with you, Cristina, and working with other coaches is that you have this broad, all-encompassing coaching program, which from the start, I mean, helped so many of us kick off on a positive foot. You know, it wasn't just the business coaching, it was the mindset coaching too, and understanding that we are powerful, we are strong, and we are more than capable of clicking a couple buttons on the computer and bam, having our own business. Like it's really not that hard. And this was my second go around, because like I told you, Christina, I have my dog sitting business too. And when you have somebody there that's willing to guide you, and you have a support group where we can all come and ask questions, it makes things so much easier, because the second you hit a roadblock, it's not like you have to sit there and wonder like, oh crap, what do I do? Like, you have access to people who have already done it. So you go to your chat room, or you send a text message, and someone's always available to give you advice and help you work through whatever that roadblock is. So like you said, it's not brain science. Like, it's just, you can do it. So that was the biggest difference and the biggest help.
But that's the thing, like, you can do it, and the tactics are there and the strategy is there. And I tell everybody, like, there is no reason, you know, if we get on the call and I know that I can help you, right? That I know that you live in a community that has the market for it. Because some people don't. Like, some people live in a little small town in rural Iowa, and, you know, this may not be a good business for them.
Right.
But if I invite somebody in, is because I know that I can help them. And our strategy is there, and the tactic is there, and it works. There is no question. Like, none. It works. But what makes the difference is if you believe that it works.
And that was the big thing.
Yeah.
And also the individual, individualizing, is that a word? Making it individual to us. Because I know when I first started, we talked a lot about how my biggest thing in life up to this point has been, I am a dabbler, and I like to, you know, I'm kind of a jack of all trades, and I like to dip my foot here and here and here and here. And that hasn't really set me up to be successful in something, because once I start to gain a little bit, then I start to trail off in a different direction. And with having you being able to kind of keep on me during the week, with our 3 business calls, you know, being able to say like, okay, well, let's bring it back this way, and focus on, you know, what your program is, what you want it to be about. And also having that calendar that you guys sent out to us that kind of holds us accountable for what we need to get done and when, not necessarily, you know, making us do it, but just giving us an outline so that we can be successful.
Right. And that's super important, because first, like, another word for a dabbler is a self-sabotager, right? Because that's what it is. And like, you're going to get success. And then you're like, no, just carry on. Let me, you know, like, ooh, squirrel. Ooh, shiny. No, but it's just because you're afraid of actually what will happen if you commit, if you do it. And so I'm so happy that you went that way. And we'll talk about your amazing business right now. But what is important is that your definition of success is different than somebody else's. So, you know, you were, you know, like, I'm thinking of maybe taking a part-time job, but I don't know, but I need, you know, I'm a single mom. I need to make money. Like, I need to replace my income pronto. And so that's not always the case, but when, you know, so for you, we create, for every mom that joins our program, we create an individualized, like, a training plan. And it says, hey, if you want to be launched 4 weeks from now, this is what you have to do. Week 1, do this, blah, 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 blah. Week 2, blah, 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 blah. And then that's what we use to hold you accountable, so that When our accountability coach reaches out to you and says like, hey, how you doing? If you haven't done it, then we can be like, all right, let's focus. This is what you have to do. And as long as you follow the plan, it's going to work.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's simple, but it's not easy.
Right. And just having that accountability coach kind of check in on you every week. It's like, oh crap, like I didn't do this. Let me get on that, and yeah, that was a big saving grace for me, and being able to go back and say, well, why didn't we get it done? And kind of look at that. Cause I know we've had our conversations about the perfectionism thing, which tends to take a lot of time when you're constantly worrying about like, okay, is this going to look good? And what are people going to think about it? And for you to help me kind of overcome that and reach my goals in a timely fashion, instead of continuing to dwell on, well, I don't want to post this yet because it's not perfect, or, so.
Yeah. Done is always better than perfect.
Right.
And
yes.
Yeah. So, you started, and when you launched Township Titans, your run club, and how did it go? Tell me.
It went fantastic. It went, I had a lot of confidence going into it. So I can't say that it went better than I planned, because I did have a lot of confidence, because it's what I got from this group and being part of it. Like, I knew that I could start it. And you guys gave me that confidence. So in our groups, we were talking about a lot of the pop-up sessions, or doing free demo classes to really give the community an idea of what the classes were about. So I started with that, and I wanted to host a free class. And for me, I live in one town in New Jersey, but I grew up in a different town. My tactic was to kind of go with what I was familiar with, because I knew more people back where I grew up. So that was more of my focus. And we hosted our free class there. I talked to as many friends and family as I could. And I was like, hey, it's a free class. Like, come out. I'm going to do some games, go over some empowerment stuff. And I think the kids will have a great time. And we ended up with 13, I believe, 13 when we did the free class, which was a really nice turnout. And then it was just a matter of really talking to people. And once they came to the first class, it was like the kids just fell in love with it. And why wouldn't they? If you ask most kids, in elementary school, what their favorite subject is, it's recess, lunch, phys ed. Like, kids are born to move. And especially during this time of, COVID-19 and being in quarantine for so long, the fact that we could successfully socially distance the kids, but still have a great time, play the games, and go over the mindset stuff, which is huge. It was such a good time. So, one thing led to another. Kids were talking to their friends, parents were talking to their friends, like, oh my gosh, this was so nice. We got to just sit back for an hour and the kids were taken care of. And we ended up, by the second class in, we did 10 classes for the summer. And by about the second or third class in, we had 24 kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And, 24 kids, 24 paying kids, right, means that you started making money from your business before you ever finished our coaching program. I mean, like, you're almost finished with your training by the time we finish. So
yeah, I was only halfway through. I was 4 weeks in, and
And it's awesome. And the thing is, like, people are like, I was like, but it happens all the time. It's like, you're not, like, that is the way it goes. So it's awesome. You got your almost 30 kids, you got your income coming in, which is what you needed right away. How about, well, let's talk first about like the kids. Like, what do you think is different or special about this curriculum? Like, how do the kids take to it?
Oh yeah. So the thing that really turned me on to this program, in being in teaching for so long, one of the things that always, I think, didn't align with who I was as a person and what I was really passionate about, it just didn't work in teaching, because I didn't have the time, and I didn't have it, in physical education or as a math teacher or an art teacher, like you see these kids who are really kind of struggling, not with your subject, but with life,
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, when you have back-to-back classes and you have a schedule to keep with your lesson plan and you don't have any assistance, you can't really follow that passion as much as you would like to. And I really want to help kids, and I really want them to understand the mindset piece and how that plays a role in everything that they do, in every subject that they're a part of, in every sport program that they join. If they're not in the right mindset, they're not going to find as much success as they would if they understand like how powerful they are, and that their choices are going to affect, how they perform in everything. So the mindset piece that goes along with this program really spoke to me, because I think that is the forefront really of the program.
Absolutely.
It's more of the finding empowerment through our drills and our games. So it's a really, really cool concept, and it's really nothing out there as far as I know. And I feel like I'm pretty up to date on a lot of like the sport curriculums and, the different things that are out there. And there's really nothing like this.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a lot, you hear teamwork a lot, but like, it's not just teamwork. It's, understanding that you can change your mindset. If you're feeling bad about yourself, you can talk to yourself and pick yourself up. Like you don't need to lean on other people all the time. You have that inside of you, which is cool.
Yeah. And I love when a kid gets it, like when the first time that they do something and they're like, I did that.
Yes.
Like I get goosebumps, and that's why that's our third pillar. And it's the most important thing that we do, right? We're a character development program, and we just happen to use running as the tool to teach like these really powerful life lessons.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the thing with running too, not to cut you off, is just the fact that it is a running program. It's not, running is part of every sport that they're ever going to do or be a part of, or any activity, like the endurance piece of it, even if they're in gymnastics or cheerleading. Like this program can serve as a foundation for anything else that they want to do in life, or a supplement to anything they're already doing. If they're playing football in the fall, but they don't have anything in the spring, like come on out and stay fit, and, maybe even learn something new about your running. Maybe you're not running the correct way. Your arms are all over the place, which is me. I run like this, and like my shoulders up, and now I'm trying to learn with the kids how to relax when I run, and it changes everything.
Right. It's odd because it's rare to have, I was never taught running fundamentals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as an adult, like right now I'm injured and I can barely walk because I ran wrong for so long, because nobody taught me these things. So it's a great, like that, it's a great base for the kids. And what we go through, like a lot of sports programs will come to us for the mindset piece, because you can be a fantastic football player and maybe you even know how to run. But if you get if as soon as you miss that one throw, you collapse because you think like you're a terrible football player, it doesn't matter how good you are. Like if you fall apart because you make a mistake, you're not going to be able to evolve in your sport.
Right. So. Exactly. And you see that a lot too with like the like college coaches will come on TV or they'll talk to a newspaper or something, and that's a big thing for them. They'll say like, you can be the best player in the world, but if you're going to come to practice and you're going to be bringing the team down, like we don't want you on our team. And I think it's just, kids have to learn that from a young age, that it's really important. Really important.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. And so if there is a mom out there and they're on the fence about doing this, or they're like just finding information, like what would you tell that mom, or the Christie that was, 8 weeks ago? What would you tell?
I think For me, one of the most important things that you talked to me about when we first got started, or when I was kind of tiptoeing around actually doing this, was the whole vine concept. Was that, you're not going to just jump off a cliff with nothing to kind of back you up a little bit. You can still kind of hang on to the vine, right? I hope I get this right. You can still kind of hang on to the vine and reach out for the next one. And when you're ready, you can let go. And I think for me, that was a big thing because, there's always going to be that little bit of fear, and it's okay and it's healthy. But it shouldn't stop you. So the whole vine concept, just going back to that, is that, even if you have a job right now and you're not happy with it, but it's still bringing you income and it does give you some sort of safe feeling, it's okay to hang on to it, but start to reach out for something else.
Right.
And, as you start to realize that you can move forward, you start to let go a little bit. And I feel like that's kind of what I ended up doing with like going full-time to part-time, and then and seeing this. And I figured summer was the best time to reach for that next vine, because I had other offers as far as teaching. I had 2 other opportunities to jump back into school. But for me, I was like, you know what, I'm going to kind of keep that idea back here. And also with my dog walking and dog business, I was like, I'm going to keep it back here, but I need to start reaching for something that's going to bring me to the person that I know that I want to be, and bring me to the teacher and the coach that I think I've been yearning to be for the past few years. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just that it's not the end of the world to take a chance on something else.
Yeah.
And it could end up being the best. What's that thing? Like you never know, if you're going to fly until you take, and you could fall, you could fly. And either way, we have the support group. I mean, I'm not just, there's a bunch of us, for those of you out there who aren't part of our group yet, there's a bunch of us. And I think some of us really took off flying, and some of us have some other things to overcome before they get there, but we're all in it together. So we're all helping each other. So even if I'm flying this way and I'm going, if somebody's here, I'm still on the group giving like, okay, well, this is what I did. Maybe try this. And it's the same thing for the people who are past me. They're coming back and being like, all right, well, why don't you try this? Or here's just sharing forms and ideas and things like that. I don't think in this group somebody will ever fall unless they literally just fall off the map.
Exactly.
Don't do anything.
That's the only way somebody fails. Like, it works. Like, there is no doubt. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to find challenges. There's always going to be challenges. You're doing something you've never done. You're always going to face something that you're like, that's what we're there for, to catch you when that happens. But it will work. The only way it doesn't work is if somebody doesn't show up.
Right.
Then like we do everything except do it for you, because we can't. I'm not in New Jersey. I'm in New Mexico. So, I can't go there and do it. And so before we go, because I know that I'm taking so much of your time, I just want like math numbers, right? So if you don't mind, as a teacher, you told me that you had like 40 kids in a class. Is that?
Oh, yeah. Well, so we can go back. So when I was teaching full time, the lowest amount of classes I would have was 5 classes a day. Let me get my notebook out. So I had 5 classes on average, sometimes 6. There were days when I had 6 classes a day. And in each class, I had 24, 25 at the elementary level.
Okay.
So let's just say 25. So how many kids is that a day?
That's 150 kids a day.
150 kids a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, on average, like, like how much were you paid per class or per hour?
Oh gosh. I would say maybe I was making maybe $100 a day.
$100 a day. Right. Yeah, no. So that's fine. So $100.
I would say 120. Let's go with 125.
All right. $20 a class. That's what you were making. How does that sit?
Wah, wah.
You make $20 every 2 kids.
Right.
Per class.
And in New Jersey, I make more than that. But there's more stuff to pay for too, though, in New Jersey. So.
Well, but it's like, imagine if you're 150, like you were making $20 per hour, working with 25 kids, doing something that you couldn't have control over, or that you couldn't do it the way that you wanted to do it. Right. And now if you have 23 kids in your class, I think you said it was 23. And I know you're in New Jersey, so you make even more than that, but let's average it out for the country, right? And on average across the country, it's about $10 per kid per class. That's what they usually pay. So you're going to be a little bit more in New Jersey and the East Coast, a little bit less maybe in Mississippi or Idaho, but it's around there. That's $230 per hour that you're coaching. So you went from making $20 per class to $200 per class, or $230. Let's say like that's split up in 2 classes, right? In 2 groups, whatever. Right. $100, $150. Right? Yeah. So the numbers add up. They make sense.
The numbers add up. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And honestly, this year, like, my goal is to at the least double what I was making and teaching. Like I'm ready for it. I'm excited. Like, it's exciting to have something that's your own and to be able to do it the way that you like to do it. So yeah.
And it's easy to do because right now, like, you're not doubling because you're only coaching an hour a day. Or a couple of hours twice a week. So once you know how to do that, then all you have to do is just increase the amount of coaching you do, or start building your staff so that you can be in more places. And so there is a path to do that, but the great thing is that you can control it. So you don't have to teach 6 classes a day to make that.
Yeah. And that's the big thing too, for I think for me, and probably for moms all over the place, is that sometimes it's not really about the money. Like, if I get to the winter and I've decided, the fall was just like a little bit too much with what I was doing, well, then I pull back a little bit and I say, okay, I'm not going to do my Thursday classes because my daughter really needs some tutoring or something. Okay, well, I will forfeit some money to help out with my family. And that's the ability and the freedom to juggle that around is priceless. It's priceless. Even now, I'm going to be home with my kids all day, helping them with their work. And, I know it's going to be exhausting, but, but I have that ability. I'm not going to be paying someone, to teach my kids at home while I go teach other people's kids. I'm going to be able to be home with them and then go do my stuff at night. And then they get to be involved in the classes. I have a 4-year-old and a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. And it's one of their favorite things to go to right now. My 7-year-old wants to go to every class because she loves people. So it's awesome.
I mean, the videos, that's where I was going to ask next, because you take them to class and your daughter, like you've posted videos of like her commentary after the classes and how her running form has improved. And
she has.
And that's, that's great.
Yeah. It's so much fun. So
yeah, my kids were part of my run club for about 5 years. So, you know, it's another, that's why I call, like, we're not just entrepreneurs, we're mompreneurs, right? Because there is a difference of you going out and just doing something that's separate from your family. But this is like, you're bringing your momminess and like your role as a mother into your business and kind of mixing it all up and coming out with something beautiful. So,
oh yeah. And it's cool to see them bring stuff home with them. Like my daughter was upset the other day. She was trying to do something. She got so upset. And I said, what are you doing right now? She goes, I'm feeding the bad wolf. I was like, oh, like totally caught me off guard. And I was like, okay, so what do we need to do? She's like, feed the good wolf.
oh,
I was like, exactly. I said, you're powerful, you're brave, you're strong. Now let's go, girl.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And those are things that we teach the kids in our club, right? So, oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. All right. So if you are, oops, let me just go over here one second. So if you are a mom out there and you are wondering if this is going to be a good fit for you, if you're wondering how it all works, then the first thing that you need to do is book a call right there, dsrunclub.com/apply. And we may end up not working together. The majority, most people that I talk to are not good fits. And I will be super honest and I will tell you, because I don't want to bring somebody in that I don't know will be successful or that we can get her there. So I'll tell you. But if I invite you in, if I tell you, it's like, you've got this, like we can do this, then take Christie's example, take the other mom's example, it will work. And the only thing that you're going to have to overcome is your fear of getting started. That's it, so, but it all starts with a conversation. And even if we don't end up working together, I promise you that you will get so much clarity as to what is going on, what is stopping you and what you need to do. So I've never had somebody that, went on a call and says like, well, this was a complete waste of time. Like never, of the hundreds of calls that I've done. So book a call. Let's talk. Let's see if this works for you. And if you are in New Jersey and you are in Central Jersey, no, South Jersey.
I'm kind of in Central South. I'm in Burlington and Ewing. Right
Burlington. Now. So if you're in Burlington and Ewing, New Jersey, Township Titans, that is Christie's Run Club. They're doing amazing things and you can always check them out as well. All right. Well, Christie, thank you so much for being here. Any last words of wisdom? Anything else you want to share before we go?
Just do it. There's nothing to lose in taking a phone call.
That's right.
So.
And it might just change your life. You never know.
Exactly. Exactly. So.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And bye, everybody. Hold on one second. Bye.